GoCom Radio, the people's voice.
Hello and welcome to Isla and Friends, the season 2, Heart to Heart. The space where we sit with people who are shaping conversations, challenging systems, and showing up with courage and honesty. I am your host, Islamia Sodekadejo. You call me the radio girl. And this season is all about open, real conversations, not just about achievements, but about the challenges behind them, the social issues associated with them, and the human stories that often get left out. Today on Islam Friends, I am not alone. As you know, I have a friend with me. I am joined by Marek Olszewski, a 22-year-old independent filmmaker whose work explores identity, memory, and the quiet spaces between generations. Born in Poland, raised in Carlow, Ireland, and now based in Galway, Marek represents a new generation of Irish creatives shaped by migration, belonging, and storytelling. Currently studying film at the University in Galway, Marek is working on his next short film, Dreams of My Father, a project inspired by personal experience and one that speaks to many young people navigating family expectations, identity, and self recovery. Marek, thank you so much for joining me on Islam Friends today.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. So, for listeners meeting you for the first time, who are you?
Hi there. Well, my name is Marek, and as you said, I am a 22-year-old independent filmmaker. I was born in Poland, then I was grown up in Carlow, and now I'm here in Galway. I'm studying film in college, and I'm very excited to tell everyone that I'm now fundraising for my next short film, Dreams of My Father.
Dreams of My Father. When you said your next short film, have you done some before?
I have, yes. I released my debut short documentary, My Hometown, in 2024, which you can watch on YouTube. That was about my time growing up in Carlow. And then
Okay.
my short film, Yes Chef, my debut narrative short film, which was like a psychological thriller, was released this year. And now I'm on to my next project, my first independently financed, funded project, Dreams of My Father.
Dreams of My Father. We are going to come to Dreams of My Father, why that title, the theme, and what we should expect, and why it is important for the community to support you on this. But before then, as someone born in Poland, raised in Carlow, and now living in Galway, how have these places shaped how you see yourself and the work that you do?
It's interesting as I am a migrant. I am an immigrant. I moved here when I was 3.5 years old. So I have felt as like an outsider for a lot of my life, looking out inwards onto society and seeing, what things I agree with, what things I disagree with, seeing the things shape me and what's not. And part of that comes into filmmaking. I suppose I'm using filmmaking as a way to show the world how I see the world. And in Dreams of My Father, I will explore themes such as Ireland, capitalism in Ireland, or grief, loss, dreams, love, essentially topics like that.
Okay. And when you say dreams of my father, what does
Mm.
that mean to you? Does this story has anything to do with your father?
I will explain. Yes. So I suppose it would be helpful to know that my father, biological father, passed away when I was 13. I never met him.
Oh,
And I was raised by my stepfather. But this film is a reimagining, I suppose, of what life would have been like with my biological father if he was living. Yeah, hence the title. These are the dreams of my father, you know.
So in that case, how much of your emotions are we expecting in this project?
The vast majority, a lot of it, a lot of emotions about, my own experience moving to Galway, my own experience, as you said, as a migrant here in Ireland. Um, I suppose my own experience of, losing my father, also never meeting him. So it's quite complicated
Mm,
in
mm,
that sense.
mm,
And also my own
mm.
take, my emotions regarding Ireland in its current state. I do have strong opinions about it.
Yeah. So when you talk about dreams of my father, and you are imagine, you kind of reimagine, the kind of dreams your biological father would have wanted for you, and then you talk a lot as well about your experience, like your previous short film, growing up in Carlow, and this one as well is a little, not even a little, a lot more about your lived experience, your emotions as well. Is it safe to say you draw your inspiration from lived experiences? If not, what are the other ideas or sources of inspiration for you that that inform the kind of story that you tell?
Well, certainly, I do draw my stories from my lived-in experiences. I find that if you live an experience, you can authentically portray it on screen. Part of that is my lived experience. Part of that is my own imagination as well. For example, not giving too much away, but in Dreams of My Father is a chef. My own father wasn't a chef; he was a journalist, in fact. But so quite different. But I know what it's like to live in that world of being a chef
Mm,
because I've lived
mm,
so extensively in hospitality for the past few years.
mm.
So it's a bit of my own experience, a bit of my own imagination, and whatnot. Yeah.
So, Marek, at what point did you realize that film is not just is film is going to be used, or you are going to use film to express yourself? It's going to go beyond hobby. Maybe for someone like me that will just watch a film, watch a movie to relax, and at what point did you realize that you are going to use filming to express yourself and also use it to tell stories?
I would say a turning point in my life was when I was 15 years old. I watched a Polish film called Cold War, or in Polish Zimna Wojna, and it told the story of of a theater director falling in love with a 1950s singer. And it to me that film really showed what films could be. It was such an art house film, shot in 4:3 format, black and white. It had kind of like folk music, jazz music. It was so art house, and I just fell in love with it. And to this day, it is by far my favorite film ever made. And I watch it from time to time to remind myself what it's like. But when I watched that film, I was genuinely shocked and stunned by what a film could be. And again, it changed my understanding. Before then, like anyone, I'd watch, like you said, movies to relax. I'd watch an old movie from time to time, but it was the exception. Uh, but yeah, certainly from that point on, that set the seeds in me and allowed my passion to grow. And now I understand filmmaking is a visual medium. It's a way to tell stories visually, and it's the best one because we see the world visually. So that's why I want to use it.
Yeah. So if you said that you have come to realize filmmaking is a way to tell stories, and I want to ask, how has filmmaking helped you in telling those stories, especially in expressing yourself differently?
It has been amazing. I will use an example of my hometown. After I moved from Carlow, I had some negative feelings about the place, and um, it was a lot of kind of unprocessed feelings, a lot of hurt, a lot of anger, mixed with a lot of love and joy. And I was still holding on to that. So I decided to make that into a film, a short documentary of about 5 minutes only. But I put so much into that film. And by the time I made it, it's almost those feelings just kind of transformed itself. And it was also a way for me to show people what I experienced, because words can only cover a fraction of what you've felt. It's showing people, which is the main thing. And I showed it to people, and people were very receptive of it. And yeah.
Good. And I'm still on the title of your film, Dreams of My
Mm,
Father. And
mm,
as a young person, and maybe from migrant background as well, do you feel pressured to carry your parents' dreams?
mm,
I am African descent. I'm from African background, and a lot of households we want their daughters, their sons to be doctors, lawyer, and it's like those are the only the two professions,
mm,
and you find a lot of young people that will say, okay, I studied, I love theater arts, music, filming, but I studied accounting for my dad. I did
mm,
medicine for my mom. Now they
mm,
have the certificates. I'm going on to become an actress. I'm going on to study what I really want to do for my life. So
mm.
yourself as a young people, and maybe speaking for other young people, do you guys feel pressured by your parent dreams? And if yes, will that show in your film? Will that show in your day-to-day work?
Well, I can only speak for myself personally. But I'm sure there are that pressure in our society for young people. But for myself personally,
Mm.
I'm very grateful that my parents have, kind of turned around to the idea of me being a filmmaker. I'm sure they wished I was a doctor, as you said, or a lawyer, but that's not gonna happen.
No way.
But I suppose in me, I feel a certain pressure to maybe continue my parents' legacy. I'm very grateful my parents have installed, values in me of hard work and loyalty and love and family and success. So I suppose I feel a pressure in me to continue with that idea of success and build my own set of success and then pass that on to my own children, you know. Yeah.
Thank you. And still talking about being pressured, have you ever struggled with choosing between who you are and who you are expected to be?
A little bit. I- I- Allow me to think. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Um, I guess I guess my my family, my parents, they of course they want the best for me, but sometimes they don't always know what best is for me, and sometimes perhaps they might expect me to do something, but I know in my heart, oh, I'm not ready for that. Or for example, when I was 18 years old, I didn't know what I wanted to do for college. And
Hmm.
so I told my parents, I told my dad in particular, I want to do a gap year to kind of find myself. And I remember initially he was against that idea. He said, oh, you're going to fall behind, or your friends are in college, you have to follow them. But I knew that in my heart, that was the next step for me because I wasn't ready to commit myself to university at that time. And I
Hmm.
trusted myself, and it was right. I trusted myself. I took the gap year. I found my love for filmmaking, and then I did that in college. You know.
Okay, good. And apart from the parent, do you feel migrants, young migrants, or even youth generally, do you think the adults and decision makers are often misunderstanding them about the challenges that they are under, about the challenges that they face, or the pressures that they're under? Or do you
I
think we understand you and everyone is doing fine?
I think, our loved ones, they come from the right place. They love us. They just want to help us. But I do think they misunderstand us at times. I think as well they can be a bit too hard on us at times. And, you know, realistically, you can't expect someone in their early 20s or even someone turning 18 to have their whole life together. That I think we should give people like myself a little bit of grace, patience, understanding. We're just figuring life out and we're doing the best. And it's, life is tough, and we need to be kind and patient with each other.
Talking about figuring life out, I think
Mm,
as an adult and a parent, what we think is that we think we are helping. So
mm,
you don't spend too much time. You don't go through so much stress figuring it out. We
mm.
have been there. We have the answers. We have the experience, and we can help you skip some figuring out some challenges, and you get there faster. So we think we are helping, but then will that be considered helping out or putting young people under pressure?
I think it's a bit of a safety net. I think great growth comes in those challenges.
Mm.
And I, you know, if I was a parent, I would obviously be there for my child and help them when they need, but I will also let them grow, let them make mistakes, let them figure themselves out, because it's in those challenging times that you find yourself as a person, as I did. And so I think it's good that parents help out, but I think the parents also need to give their children a little bit of space as well and let them figure out things and let them make mistakes.
On their own. Okay.
Yeah.
I want us to talk more about, being creative and a filmmaker and your film that is coming, that the dreams of my father. But before then, if you can go few step back, can you
Mm,
share your growing up in Carlow? What's
mm,
your experience like? Because I remember we had a chat this year
yeah, we
in
did.
summer, and we were talking about that. And if you like to, if you like us to go back to that or share that with my audience today.
Well, it was tough, if I can. I suppose, I went to an old boys' school where the main focus was on sports and being athletic. And although there were some support there for creative people in their arts, there wasn't a lot. You know, um, I myself in school was, I suppose, a little bit bullied,
Mm.
just because I didn't walk the talk. I didn't try to fit in. I was just myself. And although I was passionate and I put myself out there, I was bullied a little bit. But, as I grew older, I realized that creativity and that willingness to put myself out there is actually a strength. And as I grow up, like I'm stronger than who I used to be when I was a
Mm.
kid, and I can find the right people for me, and I'm learning who to trust, who not to trust. Not everybody is your friend, so I'm learning that. But I'm a lot stronger than who I was
Than
when I was
who
in
you
school.
were.
Yeah.
What helped you through this difficult time? What are the
In
things that you can actually look back on and say, okay, maybe this actually helps, so that maybe we don't know who is listening right now that is kind of facing tough moments, being bullied, trying to find their strength. What helped? What are those things that helped you then?
For me, it was actually the arts. Before I discovered film, I was actually very much into music. I come from a musical background, For example, during that time, I was taking piano lessons with my music teacher, and I found just really delving into music and into that piano and learning it and learning to express myself through music really helped me. And for that time, I harnessed my skills in music, joined bands or performed or made songs or whatever. And it helped me. It was great. It was of great comfort. Even now, as a young adult living alone, I do face stresses of life daily, the pressure of life, and I find films actually to be of great comfort and relief. And I watch films. It's to enjoy, relax, and also to comfort. You know.
Good. Do you still do a bit of music like you used to?
Sometimes, I don't have a piano here with me in Galway, sadly. But when I do come home and I do find my piano, I do play it and I do remember still a few pieces. But I really should get back into the music. Yeah, I really
Yeah.
should.
And would that be why your show on GoCom Voices of Tribes, would that be why it's about music and musicians and creatives as well?
Yeah, I mean, I attracted to that. It was your idea, Ishtam, but I was attracted to it, and I suppose I can understand my guests because I come from a musical background, because I've
Mm,
made music, because I've played on stage. I can get into the minds of the musician. I know exactly what it's like, what they're feeling in that moment. So it's great. It's almost as if I'm going back to my roots, you may say.
mm, mm. That's a good one. Now, coming back to creativity, what has been the hardest part of trying to build a career in creative business and as a very young age like yourself at 22?
It's the uncertainty. Certainly I'm still in the early stages of my career. I'm in my final year, luckily. And then next year I'll be moving abroad to do a master's in film. But it's uncertainty, um, uncertainty of what my career will look like. I see, for example, AI and the work, the films it can make, and it really worries me. And I see the current state of the film industry, for example, Netflix offering to buy Warner Brothers. So stuff like that does worry me, the uncertainty whether I can make a living, or do I have to live the poor artist's lifestyle? But there is hope. I've always believed in hope, and I'm hopeful that if I just keep working hard and keep working on my films, success will follow.
Can you shed more light on what you found worrying, especially with AI and maybe the likes of Netflix?
Well, AI is certainly worrying. AI is it's kind of bit of an insult to the artist to instead of having a human being make this work, you ask a computer to make this work, to make this art. Although I believe AI can be useful, resourceful, it should not replace art. I believe
Replace
art
art.
is should be human, of course. And then with Netflix, I think it's just monopolization and conglomerates buying other conglomerates, just seeking to make more profit, more money. And sadly, I hear that Hollywood doesn't care about making movies; they just care about money, and that worries me. And that's something that I can't change the world, but I can change myself. So I can make movies that because I want to make movies, not because I want to make money. You know,
But because you want to do what?
because I want to make art. Of
Make
course,
art.
I want to make a living. Of course, every filmmaker wants to make a living from his work, but I want to make art, movies primarily, not just money, garbage.
Yeah. The likes of Netflix, the video, let's just call them film companies. Don't you
Mm.
think there will be a good platform for artists to express themselves. Apart from that, get visibility. Do you see it from that perspective?
I can certainly. Netflix is, good, I suppose, at least at financing films that they believe in. Apple TV is another good one, or A24 is a very good one. They do sponsor those kind of independent films, giving people a rise. I just hope that they're in it for art, not for money, but for art.
Okay. So, talking about that, what support or lack of it do young filmmaker really need right now?
Funding, certainly. I've through my limited knowledge of funding, I see that it is quite limited and very competitive. There are some funds, but as I said, it's very competitive. So we need more funding. We need to I believe slow down AI, not let it get out of control, honestly. And
Do you think we can slow down AI? I think AI
yeah,
is flying.
yeah. Well, I hope we can get it under control, and I hope we don't let AI you know take control of art and
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
But I do believe we need to support filmmakers and help them. Yeah.
Okay. And talking about support, you're asking for public support for the dreams of my father.
Yes. I
Why
started
is it important to you as an independent filmmaker?
to get my film out there. From what I've learned, if the more people hear about your film, they will be more inclined to support it. The more of an audience you will have. I'm trying to get everybody on board, to support the film, to donate if they can. The word gets out there, and yeah, hopefully, I will get that support. But so far, I've gone a little bit. Even just the past week alone, I've raised 430 euros for my film, which I'm very
How
grateful.
much are you looking for?
1,500.
1,500. You
So
are like
almost one third, yeah, one
one
third.
third away from where you want to be. So, for people that want to support Dreams of My Father, what will they be supporting?
They will be supporting the film itself. With every donation that I get, I am one step closer in making the film that I want to make, and I'm able to pay everyone and everything. This is my first finance short film. I'm done making movies for no money, so I'm going to start paying for everyone and everything. And with every donation I get, I'm one step closer to that.
Okay, good. And where can anyone that want to support you, how can they support you? How can they be part of this fundraising?
Primarily, I market via my Instagram at the moment. I will hope to extend that. I have a GoFundMe.
GoCom Radio, the people's voice.
Okay, sorry about that.
It's
Keep going.
okay. I have a GoFundMe link in my biography, and I'm
Okay.
posting regular updates. So if you go into my Instagram, Don Cinematic, DON dot cinematic, you'll be able to see updates on my film.
So apart from funding, what other support do you need? Maybe from individuals, maybe from organizations or the community at large.
Well, I need help because it takes a small army to make a movie. So I am in due course. I will be asking people that I know, or outside of people that I know, whether they could hop on a role, say producer, cinematographer, editor, sound person. Yeah, that and just people spreading the word. The more people that hear about it, the more people will click, donate, and watch the movie. It's not for me, it's for everybody, you know.
Yeah, and when you get that kind of support, how does it feel knowing that your community is behind you?
It feels fantastic, I must say. When I see that in the past week I've raised 430 euros, it's amazing to see that my friends are behind me, my family are behind me, my work is behind me, and it I'm honestly shocked and surprised. I didn't think it would get that much attention. Um, but yeah, I'm very shocked, surprised, and very grateful, very grateful.
Thank you so much. And apart from the fact that you are experiencing the support from your community, family, and friends, is there anything else that you are very proud of right now?
Regarding the film,
Maybe the film, maybe something else, something that you can look back or look inward and feel that, okay, I am so proud.
well, I'm proud of
I
myself.
did that.
I'm proud. Yeah, gosh, I was thinking to myself, I was thinking about just even the past 5 years since I've gone into filmmaking, where I am now. I started making films on an iPad, and now I'm in college. I'm doing what I love. I'm making my first finance short film. But also, I'm proud of myself, of what I've achieved here in Galway. It's been a tough 3 years, but I'm grateful that of all I've accomplished, for example, the radio show that I'm doing with you, or the film that I'm currently making, and all the work I'm doing on myself. I'm proud of myself. And at such a young age, 22, yeah, God, I feel much older.
So you're working on your film, you're going to school, maybe
Mm.
we are working part-time, I'm not sure. So how do you relax? What do you do to take a pause and slow down before you move on again?
Oh, you see, I don't. I'm a workaholic.
I intentionally asked that because I want the audience to know that we've had this conversation before, and your answer is still the same today. And
Yeah.
I know. So
Well,
if you are a workaholic, okay, go ahead.
well, okay, I'm only kid. It's something that I'm working on. Yes, I do have a tendency to burn out. I do have a tendency to bite off more than I can chew and to burn out. So I'm trying to, as I said, self-care, relax, first make sure that I'm okay, I'm getting enough
Yeah.
sleep, I'm getting enough food, water, setting boundaries with myself, not take too much of a workload. I start
Mm.
taking the weekends off, which I know sounds normal to some people, but it's quite crazy to me because I used to just
It's new
work
to
on the
you.
weekends, you know. But yeah, I started just relaxing, slowing down a bit, and yeah, and as the saying goes, pat myself on the back that I'm doing everything that I know what to do. I'm doing everything that I can, and I should be proud of myself.
Yeah, you should be. You have talked about the film companies, you've talked about AI and your concern, and growing up, the difficult part of it. So, what keeps you motivated when things are slow, not moving, not encouraging? Where do you find hope?
Well, I hope it doesn't sound pretentious, but I do find hope in myself. I am very much a believer in never giving up, and I find hope in myself, but also I find hope in the future. I push myself, I work hard, even when things are slow, because I have a dream future, and I know that future will not be achieved if I don't work hard. But as we said earlier, I find comfort in films as well. I've really gotten into art house movies, old kind of movies, and I watch art house films and I'm really just amazed by what this person achieved. And I'm like, okay, if they can do it, then I can do it. And that motivates me to just keep going.
Yeah. So, who are the filmmakers that you think that okay, If at all I don't even do anything else, I want to meet this person. Do you have one or two of like that that you wish you want to meet someday?
Yeah, I mean, two names that come to mind is Christopher Nolan, British film director, and Martin Scorsese, American film director. Their movies are just amazing, and I love all of them, and I'm always amazed by when I watch their films, and they certainly left their stamp on cinema, and that's you see that's what I want to do. I'm aware life is short, and I want to leave, I suppose, a legacy behind, leave my stamp on the world, so that even when I'm gone, my films will still remain here. People can watch them and enjoy them.
Fantastic. Now, lastly, before I let you go, in the next 5 years or 10,
Mm.
probably 20 years, where do you see yourself?
Well, I hope to see myself on the red carpet. Honest to God,
Woo!
I want to, I want to be, I guess, famous, known, recognized for my work, and yeah, I hope to be making movies, even more than I am now professionally, meeting great other actors or directors, and leaving a legacy behind. Yeah.
Mhm.
And working in the film industry, I hope that I will make a living from my work. Yeah.
From your work. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And for people that's just joining, I've been speaking with Marek. He's a young 22-year-old filmmaker, and he's fundraising for his new film, Dreams of My Father. And you can follow him on Instagram. Do you want to say your Instagram handle?
Yes, of course. I'll spell it out. So it's first Don, so Don dot cinematic, Cinematic, Don Cinematic.
Don Cinematic. What does that mean to you?
Oh my God. Jesus. Okay, so it was when I was first starting the film page. I wanted to make a creative film name. So I was very inspired by the whole mafia movies from like the
Okay.
Godfather. They got like Don Corleone or something. Don being like a sir, like a leader. And
Okay.
I put dot, and then I put cinematic. So I'm like the leader of being cinematic.
Oh,
I know
Cinematic.
it's a bit outdated now, but I do like it. I have a nice ring to it.
Okay. And the fundraising platform you are using for Dreams of My Father, what is that?
GoFundMe primarily. It is GoFundMe.
GoFundMe. So what can we search to find you on GoFundMe?
You can look up Dreams of My Father
Dreams of My
by
Father,
Marek
GoFundMe.
Olszewski,
And
my
of
name.
course the link will be shared with this video this episode when we put that on the Instagram, and we're also going to put that on the video version on our YouTube, and the GoCom Radio page is also going to continuously promote this until the film is done, and we are where it is where we want it to be. And is there anything else you'd like to say today that maybe I did not cover? I know I asked you lots of questions, but I'm just excited to get to know you more, and for my audience to also know you more and know how best to support your vision. So do you have
Yeah,
something to add today that we did not touch?
yeah. I just want to say thank you to everybody who has supported and donated to my film. At the time of this recording, we have raised 430 euros, which is an amazing milestone, and 430 euros in less than a week. I couldn't even imagine it. I just want to encourage everyone to go to the GoFundMe, like, share, support, and donate if you can. Everybody who donates will get a special thank you in the final credits of the film. And I myself will be grateful. So, yeah.
Thank you. Please support Marek on this one, and let's have this story told. And that brings us to the end of today's Isla and Friend, the season 2 Heart to Heart. Thank you, my guest Marek, for sharing your story with honesty and from your heart today. We appreciate that. Conversations like this remind us that leadership, change, belonging, don't come from perfection, they come from courage, community, choosing to show up as we are, which is exactly what Marek is doing, and being the change that he wants to see and working on his vision. He wants to be a popular filmmaker and is working hard towards that. And I will not be surprised. Another 5 years is popular, is famous, and I will know he deserves all that and more. So, if something you heard today from Marek stayed with you, I invite you to sit with it and maybe even act on it. I remain yours truly. Islamia Sode Kadejo is my name. You call me the radio girl. And this has been Isla and Friends. Until next time, I always say, love yourself, believe in yourself, take good care of yourself, pamper yourself, take yourself seriously. Never accept anyone's definition of you. Forgive yourself if you have to. And keep yourself safe. And always remember to smile. Smile is therapy, smile is charity, and smile is love. Good day. Enjoy the rest of your week. And it's bye for now.
GoCom Radio, the people's voice.